welcome to our channel, Hanging with the Jameses.
What's good?
So this is our first video and our first debate. So welcome you all. We're the first time your guests and the second time your family.
Period.
I'm Keone.
I'm Jamar. And what's happening?
So on today's topic, we are discussing if it is possible to have true love in a toxic relationship. So Jamar posted this and we got some feedback from our peers, and 19 people voted that it was not possible to have true love in a toxic relationship, and 4 people voted that it was. And so we're gonna dive into that. First things first, if you would like to be a part of these discussions before we make our videos, be sure to follow us on Instagram, where we can post the polls and you can submit questions, and also let us know if you're okay with us mentioning your comment. We can either mention you by your Instagram name, your real name, or if you would like us to do it anonymously, that's fine as well.
Yes, and just to kind of get this out there, some of these debates, our opinions are going to coincide, but someone has to play the devil's advocate. So just because we're debating either side of this doesn't mean that we totally agree one side over the other. So let me start by prefacing that.
Right, because some things might be a little gray area. I think it could depend on different situations. Also, don't take any of this to heart. Just because we're debating something doesn't mean we're going through it, we're arguing about it, anything like that. We're just, just wanting to have healthy debates and display what a healthy relationship can look like. So yeah.
And I'm going to win most of the time anyway. So.
Who said that? Who said that?
Whatever. He married an attorney.
If you pretty much agree with me, then you know what I mean. You're probably in good standing agreeing with me. Not that we keeping count, but if we were keeping count, I'll probably be up like 1,237 and like 4.
Stop the cap.
And I let her win 2 of those 4.
The lies. There you go.
But that's neither here nor there. But we'll get started.
Anyway, like I said, he married an attorney, so he already know what it is over here.
Yeah, so let's start with the definition of what a toxic relationship is. So a toxic relationship is a relationship where you feel threatened, whether that's emotionally, psychologically, or we all know physically. So those would be things that we would preference as a quote unquote toxic relationship. So Keone is going to go first, because ladies first, and she's going to tell you why she feels that it is not possible to have true or real love in a toxic relationship.
Okay, so as he said, I obviously stated no, I don't think it's possible to have true love in a toxic relationship. And I think because simply, first, just looking at the definition, like why would you want to have someone that you truly love feel like emotionally threatened, physically threatened, all of these other things? I just feel like if you love someone, you're gonna do what you need to do to make them feel comfortable. Obviously, no one is perfect. No relationship is perfect. So there are gonna be, times when y'all are gonna clash, or there are times when you will, might feel emotionally something towards your spouse. But like you're gonna work on it so that they feel loved and know that you're taking those steps to make them feel better.
Okay, so I can see that. So even though it's a debate, as I stated, we can definitely agree on certain things and disagree on some of the other things. So I wholeheartedly agree with most of that. I do feel like you can have true love in a toxic relationship. The reason being is because we all have our own love language. You don't know what your love language is until you're with a person that kind of tests what's that love language. So you don't know what you don't know. So from the outside looking in, maybe others would think, okay, that's a toxic relationship because I would never allow that. But you have to think that those people in that relationship, it may work for them. So what works for you works for you. So I think you can definitely have, because we all like a little bit of toxic. Let's be honest, we all are a little bit toxic to certain things. We've just learned how to handle it. We've learned how to maintain the level of toxicity that we're putting into our relationship. So we may not always show it, but we like it, and we all have it in small amounts or larger amounts depending on the type of person. But you just got to know your person. Who am I to tell you that relationship is toxic if that's who you are and that's who you like, or that's what you attract? So if it works for you, then it works for you. But I think it's definitely possible. You just have to know what your love language is in order for it to work or not work for you.
So you like somebody to test your gangster, is what you said.
I mean, who doesn't? Like, you got to keep them on their toes. Like, you just can't be in agreement with everything. I like for you to step outside your comfort zone. Like, confront me on some things. I'm not going to be right on everything, so confront me. When I step out of line,
right.
Confront me. I mean, I'm not right about everything, but I mean, I've been wrong like one time in my entire life, back in like 1997 or something, 1998. That was the first time I've ever been wrong, and she just won't let it go, but it happens.
Okay, so something you said there, you said that we shouldn't be in agreement with everything. And I agree with that. And I don't feel like that's toxic just because I don't agree with you in everything. Because I feel like in a relationship, you shouldn't agree with your partner with everything. But that's where it comes where you guys can sit down and have a good conversation to hear both sides. But I feel like it becomes toxic when you're not allowed to do that in your relationship, or, you know, everything that you try to tell your partner, they dismiss or they get angry, or, you know, have some Krishan and Blueface going on.
Hey, Blueface and Bluetooth. Let me tell you about Blueface and Bluetooth now.
Krishan, my girl, though, like, I really like her as a person, and I really do hope that, you know, she continues to pray, see God, and, you know, realize what's for her. But anyway, yeah, so I feel like a relationship becomes toxic when you're not allowed to have those healthy communications with your partner, or, you know, they seek to embarrass you or just do all of this unnecessary stuff, all because, like, you know, you have an opinion, or they don't want you to participate in certain things, as far not anything that's like gonna make your relationship look, you know, crazy, or to the public eye that y'all are single. I'm not referring to that, but I mean like just normal stuff, like going out to eat with your girlfriends, or going shopping or something, and your partner has an issue with that. And I feel like that's where toxic things get involved.
Yeah, but I think now we're towing the line on being toxic and being controlling. They're not really one and the same. They can be mutually exclusive. I think I completely understand where you're going with it, but I also feel like that's also being a little controlling.
I mean, I feel like there may be a fine line between being controlling and toxic. Like, if you're threatening my emotional well-being, or, you know, my physical being, like, would that mean that there's some type of control that you feel that you have over me? Like, because otherwise you wouldn't feel the need to do those things.
Okay, I can see that, but I feel like I stated previously, it's more so you knowing your love language, and a lot of people don't know their love language, and it's okay. Because, like I stated previously again, you don't really know that until you have someone that kind of tests what your love language is. So I feel like as soon as you know your love language, then I feel like you will be able to determine what's toxic, what's controlling, what's not. Because what's for you is for you, like, and what works for you works for you. So don't be afraid to step out and to step into these situations, because they may on the outside looking in look toxic, because I feel like you'll miss out on an opportunity. But know your love language. Not everything, and we can't on the outside look in and say what's toxic or not, because we're not there. So
I agree with that. I feel like that's one of the most important things that I feel like you mentioned, is to know your love language, and know what you want. Like, so if you know your love language, you're able to relay that to your partner, know what you want, and you're able to relay that to your partner. And I feel like that may help combat some of the toxicity, because if you're with someone and you know what you want and you know your love language and they're not giving you that, then it's just like, okay, well, like maybe I need to reevaluate this relationship, because you may always sort of like bump heads because you feel like you're not getting what you need from that relationship. And before we wrap up, we're gonna share some comments from our peers. So one of our peers, Bree, hey girl, she stated that toxic isn't love, and how can you have true love if you don't even care enough to change to make sure that you and your partner have a healthy relationship? And I will say that I agree with that. Again, sort of back what I stated earlier, but I feel like if it's someone that you care about and it's someone you feel like is your true love, like you're always going to be making those steps to make sure that they feel loved and that your relationship is healthy. We've been together 12 years and married almost 10, and I will say that it's a continuous journey. Like, you can't get to one place and be like, that's it, like I've changed. And it's not necessarily changing as in changing who you are. I should say you're evolving, so you should evolve, and it's always a daily thing. Like, there, as you get older, you evolve, and so will your partner. And especially in our sense, we met in high school, so it's just like we're definitely not the same people we were in high school. So I think, or I believe that when it's your true love, you definitely have to take those steps to evolve, and let them know that you love them, especially if you feel like you found your person.
Definitely. And I have someone who shared a message too. I didn't really get his permission to share his name, so I'm not going to share his name. But it was in the realm of pretty much, you just have to find that person for you. So if that's what you like, then you need to seek someone who doesn't feel like you displaying these traits or characteristics of being toxic would be a problem with them. So it goes back to kind of like what I stated in the beginning, finding what and who works for you. So that's the biggest thing. So shout out to you for that. You know who you are, but I'm not gonna say your name because I did not get permission from you to say your name. But it just kind of coincides to how I feel about this debate, meaning you can have it, you can have true love in it, because only you know what true love is. And I feel like that's a point that we didn't kind of elaborate on. Like no one can tell you what true love means for you, because it means something different to everyone. So if you ask 5 different people what true love means, you'll probably get 5 different answers. So if you find someone who has the same definition or has the same viewpoint on it than you have, then it may not be toxic. Maybe to the outside community, but for you all, it may work. Like Blueface and Bluetooth, like it just might work. And as you know, not to get biblical, but
we're gonna get biblical real quick. So 1 Corinthians 13:4 says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. So this was 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. And so based off that, if your love does not do those things, then you have true love. But that's to say, like, that's not to say that never happens. So I think the message from this is you have to reevaluate your relationship with your partner and make the necessary changes that you feel you need to make for your relationship.
Right, but don't gonna change it who you are.
Right.
At the end of the day, stand on your principles, stand on your morals. Like, don't alter those just to appease someone else. I don't care how much you like them. You have to be yourself 100% of the time, because you have to like that person. If you're looking in the mirror, you have to like that person that's staring back at you. So we're just trying to give you a different way of kind of looking at it, and in hopes that you will change some things within, not changing the entire person, but change the way that you look at certain aspects. Everything, it does not require like a reaction. So learn when to be quiet, learn when to listen. That was my biggest thing, learning when to be quiet, because See what I mean? She about to take me back there. But nah, but in all honesty, like learning to be quiet, learning to listen to your partner is very, very hard for a lot of people to do. It was super hard for me, like, cause I'm very opinionated. And let me tell y'all, when I give my opinion and when I stand on something, trust me, I will be the only one in the world standing on. I don't care if a million people disagree. I will be standing alone in what I feel like is my truth. So I'm definitely stubborn in that sense, but it is what it is. I just had to learn how to scale it back so that it didn't sound like I was dismissing anything that she was bringing to me. So it's evolution, to say the least. But don't go changing your core values or your core morals just to appease a person.
I agree with that. And yeah, so I guess to wrap it all up, first of all, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, whoever.
All them. Bobo, Boo Boo, Marcus, Man. We all know Man.
And Peanut.
Yeah,
So.
Peanut, Brent, all them, Man. Let all them come and enjoy it. And send us some topics, send us some things that you want to discuss.
And comment your opinions. Like,
definitely.
Feel free to jump in the conversation. Like, that's what we want it to be. We're all family. Once y'all come back the second time, we're all family.
Right, you better come back the second time.
So we want to hear what you guys think. Weigh in. And again, don't take any of this personally. This is honestly just us having like a healthy debate. Just wanting to, get some discussion around these topics and see what you all think.
Yes, and this video was recorded before Lancaster played the state championship game. So shout out to Lancaster High School for making it to the state championship. So I don't know the results yet. Obviously, as I stated, this video was made beforehand. But shout out to y'all. Make sure you go out there and you handle business. For anyone that's not familiar with it, Lancaster High School is the high school that Keone and I both graduated from. And they're playing in the state championship basketball game tonight. In South Carolina, yeah. So shout out to Coach Kaufman and the crew, everyone. Make sure you bring the state championship home. Anything else you have, baby?
I think that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye.